Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stamping Flair. My name is Rochelle Lyd Smith. Great to have you join me. I'm from Melbourne in Australia and I'm an independent Stamping Up demonstrator. Welcome to my Friday night Facebook Live. Something a little bit extraordinary, which I'm doing today. Um, and happy weekend. I hope you are all relaxed and can enjoy some crafting time. Please say hi to me and introduce yourself if you're new and let me know where you're watching from. Really good to have you here, and I appreciate you spending some time with me. Uh, it was my first day back at work today after about 5 weeks off, and but I eased into it, so not feeling too tired. But it's always hard that first day back, getting back into it. So it's nice to have the weekend, one day in, and then I've got the weekend to chill out. So it's good. Today we are going to be using the Sweetest Cherries bundle. This comes with a punch, and I'll be showing you how to create some realistic looking cherries here, and it is a it's lovely. I tried not to use the gingham, and I won't be using the gingham paper, but it would work well with that. And actually, in my summer retreat, this is an optional class, and I'll be using the gingham with that. So the summer retreat is a mail out kit anywhere in Australia. We are using the By the Bay suite, and this add-on class is available as well. The registrations close on the 3rd of February, so get yourself registered for that. And there are options for you to pay for that as well. So check that out. You um, you can use what you've got, or you can select the add-on bundles and things like that. So let me just turn my camera around. Right, so the Sweetest Cherries bundle, all these things kind of mix and match. You've got Sweet Friend, uh, birthday wishes, you can say, or sweet friend, or thank you for being so sweet. Life, where is it? Where's it? Life is sweet with, or life is sweet with you in it. Excuse me. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. I really like that image too for background images, which is really nice. I better check that I'm all good and where I'm meant to be while I catch my voice. Sorry, I'm still here. I'm just making sure that I'm live on my Facebook page where I should be. Yes, I am. Great. So if you're watching this on a replay, please um, uh, say hi. And if you have any questions as well, pop them on and I will always get back to you. So today I'm going to be doing some ink blending because it's my favorite thing, one of my favorite things in card making. I really love um, doing that. I wonder what yours is. What do you love in card making? Do you love making layered cards, or do you love making more one layered cards, or maybe you like adding lots of embellishments? What is your favorite thing to do? Maybe it's cutting. Maybe it's fancy folds. So I've got a petal pink cards piece of cardstock, and I'm starting with this for my ink blending. And I'm going to start with sweet sorbet. And instead of white, I used petal pink because it's going to, I'm starting off not stark white, so then it's easier to blend on a colored um, card stock, and it's for the effect that I'm after. I'm wanting a more lighter shade in the middle, and you've already got the pinky shade on the on the card. So otherwise, covering a white piece of cardstock is always harder. You have to work at it more. Of course, there are times you will want to do that, but for my purpose, I am just leaving that. So this is Sweet Sorbet over Petal Pink cardstock, and work that ink really well. And I'm going to try something in which I didn't try add real red, and I'm changing it up um, to my sample because I want to see what color it comes up with. And because you think a red is a red, but I want to show you my sample of that. And it's a little bit different. You might be surprised at what came up. I didn't put real red on my original. So now I'm bringing in real red. So I'm building up this color. Have you got any plans for the weekend, or is it just home? Like for me, I am staying home. Hopefully catch up on some stuff because tomorrow I've got Craft Alive, or the Great International Craft Show. So I'll have 2 classes on there. Wonder whether you caught my class today, um, which was the Summer Love. I did share lots of tips on that class and some fun cards there. So for my final add, I'm going to add cherry cobbler. Obvious choice with the word cherry in it. You've got to put cherry cobbler, right? So I'm bringing that in. I'm not really pressing this very hard. It takes a little bit of time to work this and make sure it blends in well. This is a nice technique for you to get depth of color. Yeah, fingers do get inky. You can add like a post-it note is a way, but make sure you don't ink over that, otherwise you're going to get the markings of the post-it note. So if you use that to hold your cardstock in place. And I'm lightly bringing that in, blending it in into the other colors I had. Now we'll go on to the other side. So I'm fully building that color up. What's for dinner on a Friday night? It's many homes have, I know, takeaway. Cassidy has made us crunch wraps tonight. It's the best. It's yummy. Crunch wraps. It's like a taco, but oh, it's made with the soft taco wraps, and then she adds lettuce and mince and um, like Doritos and everything inside, and folds it in with the cheese and cooks it on the fry pan. And it's all crunchy. Hey, I think that's Fiona. I thought I fixed these settings yesterday, but obviously not, because it's still not giving me a name. I might have to do it. Oh, I know. I might have to do it on on my other platform as well. It's a learning curve sometimes. You just don't know. So now you can see like that cherry cobbler is really nice and giving you that nice depth, and it's got that bit of a open, a lighter shade. I have gone over that in the middle with um, Sweet Sorbet, but it's still that lighter shade of that petal pink under. And yes, it's Fiona. Thanks, Fiona. All right, so we have got our cherry, which I'm going to be using this one. I'm not using that. So this punches out, and this, the leaf and the stem. So the leaf, there are two leaves, but it's the same leaf in that sense. It's not different, and different looking. It's just the same. So I'll bring in my. I'm just leaving that, let it dry a bit, because it's just built up so much color on it. So for the cherries, I'm going to use cherry cobbler. I'm using my piercing mat, so anytime you use your photopolymer stamp, use your piercing mat. It gives you some cushioning. Now I'm doing just a quick way. You can punch it out first if you want to, but I found this just quicker. I'm going to be heat embossing this. It gives a nice shine to it and makes it look like very real. And so for this, because you've got some ink, I've got a few Versamark pads. I've got one that's a little bit pristine looking and looks nice. Then I've got one this is sort of the in-between one. Then I've got a real gunky one for real messy jobs. So I've got this one, and I'm going to just ink up over those cherries, right? So get some Versamark on that. So Versamark is a clear ink, and your what is it going to say? Your embossing powder. The brain's not working very well. The embossing powder will stick to it. So I'm just embossing the whole thing with clear embossing powder. Move that aside for a second. my heat gun. It's just caught on something. Right. So you just heat it up on setting 2. I just used it earlier, so it's pretty warm. So then it gives that nice shine, like a real cherry. So I'm going to give that another coating of embossing powder. So again, I will go over that. With clear embossing powder. And yes, there's a bit excess, but that's easier for you to manage. I find easier for me to manage. Just heating the rest of it up so that when it goes through my punch, it doesn't get stuck or anything. All right. Now I'll put that embossing powder away. Thought this goes well with the craft show, the Great International Craft Show. Theme is backyard barbecue, and we always have nice fruit salads and fresh fruit at our barbecue. So that's where I'm going with summer themes. Right. So bringing that. And then I think I'll punch out the left one first. Otherwise the leaf will get in the way of the one on the right. If I did the right one first. And then we'll punch out our second cherry. So with the punches, the Stampin' Up punches, it goes down halfway. So then it holds it in place and then punch it out. And they're still flat. So they lock in place and still flat. But I need that open for now. Then I've just got a little piece of cardstock for my leaves. I've just cut it small because so it fits nicely. So I want 3 leaves, and I'm going with Granny Apple Green and Garden Green. So I'll open both of them and have it ready. I'm going to be inking up in Granny Apple, and then I'm just gonna do the side of it and pat it with the sponge dauber. Then you're gonna get that to oh, it's so it doesn't matter where you do it. I'm just adding just for a little bit of shading. You can go direct to it with the sponge dauber. I have it at different spots. And if you wanted to, you can go over that again, right? So if I wanted to, it's because it's photopolymer, you can, like I would have used the stamp apparatus, but just small stamp, and because it's photopolymer, you can go over it as well. So that's our 3 leaves done. So I'm gonna start with the left. So you can punch out 2 at a time if you create a template, but I just found it easier to just go like this. This one's gonna be tricky. I might do another one on the other side. We could stamp one facing this way so I can get in this way. So I'm doing this the second way, which I showed you, and just blend that ink out so it doesn't give you that stark line. And let's say even if that didn't show up much, but even if you're a bit out, you're gonna punch it out anyway. So, but with the photopolymer, you can see through. There's advantages of both types of stamps, the bling and the photopolymer. Oh, I probably shouldn't have closed those ink pads. That was not good. All right, so we've got our 3 leaves. We've got cherries. And now we need 2 stems for our cherries, which I forgot about. Don't those that cherry looks nice like that. Right, I'm just bringing in some scrap for our stem, and just need to go in like that. So again, I'm going to be ink blending, not ink blending. I'm just going to add some extra color with my sponge dauber. I know it's just a small little thing, but it's just something. So this is another way you can add that color. Several ways to add color to the extra color or variation. So now it doesn't matter. I've got something on the other side, but that doesn't matter. You won't see it. Ooh. So I've done that too close, so I might have to redo that. I must have known. That's why I kept the ink pad open. So that's one. So that's just a little tip. Keep a bit of gap between your stems. Not do what I did. And you learn, don't you? Okay, so now to put the cherries together, I am just got glue, which is here. For the stem, I'm going to use glue dots because I found it worked better because of the embossing. Glue would be fine otherwise, but it was sticking a little bit better because of that embossed, the shine on it. And the glue dot is a little bit bigger, so I just fold it in a bit so it hides under there. And just put that like that. And then we've got the next one. Now, I'll get back to my ink blended panel. We're going to do a little more work on that. So we've got this piece. I've got some craft ink. So craft ink is our white ink here. It's Whisper White Craft. You'll get an ink and an ink refill with it. And I am using my water painter. And I have dropped some ink refill here. And I'm creating a wash. And I'm going to do some flicking of the craft ink here. And I'm bringing it a little bit closer. And I want a little bit of a larger drop, some of them. Then I'm going to turn it around so I can get a little bit here. Make it a bit washy there. That was a bit extra, but that's okay. I like those larger little dots as well. So that's nice. Larger little, that was contradiction. They're all little, but the large ones of them. So I'm going to bring in my heat gun just to give that a quick dry and make sure that whole background is nicely dry. Just come off the, which is a worry. My heat gun has it. Oh, it's just come off. I thought for a minute it's died. Or has it? But sorry guys, just trying to get the heat gun going, but for some reason it's not happening, and I don't know whether it's disconnected somewhere. That's okay, it'll dry on its own. In the meantime, I am going to stick this onto a piece of perfectly penciled designer series paper. Now this is the black and white paper which is in our annual catalog, and I am going to cut that down, and I'm hoping my piece of this piece was the right size. If not, we'll have to cut our card base down. No, this is a bit big. That's what it is. So you got that, you can color it in. So we'll go like that and stick it down. Oh, my heat guns suddenly decided to work. Here we are. It's probably just a loose connection somewhere on my I was having a moment of panic. I thought, oh, I have another one, but I thought, oh no, not the heat gun. What do? Make sure that's straight. It's hard to tell because those dots aren't straight, so that makes you wonder. Just giving it a quick heat, just to make sure all my ink is dry. But beware, heating it also can make the glue rise as well. I think it's just slightly out, so I might trim the side, 0.5. Yeah, it's a little bit out. And we can bring in our trusty trimmer. So get a trimmer if you don't have one. That's it's a great time to get those. To get those type of stuff. I think it's $44, but you're halfway to getting a Sale-A-Bration product if you get a trimmer. So you might as well, if that's something you haven't got, now's a good time, as you're going to get the freebie. So we'll start by sticking our cherry, one of them, like that, and the other one like that. And I'm just offsetting a bit. Giving it a bit of a curve. And oops. I will put some glue on those stems so it like doesn't stick up, because I do want them to just have some grounding. I did feel I had too much glue on that. It will dry. And then we're going to add a leaf there. And then I'm going to glue one under, just without a dimension. I'll just glue it. And I like doing this because it gives it some body and makes it look more natural. And we'll put one there. And that's looking good. Now a sentiment, and then we have to put a card base. So for our sentiment, I am going with, we might do another birthday. And it doesn't matter. It's meant to go sweet birthday wishes, but I think the sweet might be just a bit too much on this card. I like the more simple, lots of spacing there, and letting that background shine. Sometimes I struggle to see what these say. And that's no fault of Stampin' Up. That's just my bad art. The other day, Cassidy said, "Oh, can you see that one?" She said, "Can you read that?" And I read it. She goes, "How did you read that? You got bad eyesight." She was so shocked that I could read something a bit of a distance away. Now, what color shall we do the sentiment in? I think a green might be just a nice contrast. I don't know. Let's see. Just so it ties in with that those leaves. So, oh yeah, I think that'll be nice. Works well. So all right, so what I've got here is a deckled rectangle. All right, this so you get several. This is one of those staples in the craft room. Those nested dies are great. So this is a deckled rectangle. Now way too big for this sentiment, but I'm going to use it to add some nice shape around that. And with this, because it's not an even, I use this technique to make dies cut smaller, but this particular technique would work even like is easier to do even with a die like this, because those edges are not straight, and really it's a very free sort of die, free shape. Just getting my die cutting machine. It's just out of my reach at the moment. Righty. So we have, this will fit in the mini. I'll just get that. So our lovely bullhorn blue. And I'm just going to put that close to that. And I might even go closer to one side of the birthday. And we'll go in this way. Feels a bit crooked, that. Then, now you've got all that extra. So then I'm going to bring the die back in here and do exactly what I did, but the other way. So you will get a nice, a very small deckled rectangle that fits perfectly for your sentiment. So I've bumped that up right now so it matches. And then, so this is a great die to do this sort of thing. You can do it with any of the stitched rectangles. It works. I'm just checking I've done that straight. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Now, so you can get that die cutting machine. I keep telling you about it because it's a very sweet machine and it's a nice mini one. And it's an exclusive color as well. So to the starter kit until the 28th of February. And more details if you want are on my blog, and I'll pop the link up as well. Right, so we are going to put this guy here, and I'm going to put it right in the corner. I'll put 3. Oh, do you see that? I've got ink on it. I'm going to redo that because I really wanted, that's my hands, and I'm sorry about that. And you're going to have to see me do the whole process again. But I really wanted a nice clean sentiment on that. These things happen. Make sure I'm all clean. try anyway. I think I flipped the, I must have flipped the cardstock onto the card base. That's okay. Lucky it wasn't a difficult die cut to do. Can be frustrating sometimes when you do that kind of stuff, but it happens, doesn't it? Just when you or you drop the ink pad on your finished card. Have you ever done that? I've done that. This was not quite as bad as that. There you go. Oh, and you go into damage control. Making sure it's straight. It's okay. Friends and family, all good. I feel like everyone's very kind and just we all know what it's like. So now that sentiment is pretty straight. I didn't actually align it on the left. That I'll redo that so that it's a bit closer. But then we have to do 3 instead because I was not concentrating. But you can see how you can adjust it even more. And one more to get that edge on this side. I could have done it better on the one in 2 hits, but I didn't do that. So that's why I'm going again. Just a smidgen. Oh, it might be okay, I think. It will pass. It's just a teeny weeny bit. Oh. We're good. Keep the hands clean. Just to be pretty sure. And then if I get some ink on it, that's it. It's going to stay inked. That's when you got like these blended backgrounds and heavy color on it. Sometimes things like that happen. I like that garden green sentiment. It really picks up. All right, so now for our card base. I've got cherry cobbler. This actually, for me, looks like Cajun craze. And I thought it may be different considering I did a little bit of a different color. I added real red, but it's still looking like cherry cobbler, and it's probably just how it is. But I'm going to stick with the cherry cobbler base because of my cherries are in cherry cobbler, so it will tie it in. And it'll pick up the tones of cherry cobbler through it because we did blend in cherry cobbler. I've got some embellishments, but I'll show you. This one I didn't use real red, but it's very, very similar. So much of a muchness there. You could skip the real red just to sweet sorbet. You could skip sweet sorbet and maybe try just real red and cherry cobbler. Change it up. See what works best. So these are the pastel adhesive back sequins from the Country Floral Suite. And I just am adding a few of them here and there because I thought it might be a nice little, just the touches of gold might pick that up a bit. And I'm adding, you get large and small, and I'm just adding the little ones for this particular card. Now, for the inside of the card, I will put a piece of the designer series paper, I think, because then it'll just bring that black in to that, which is here. So I have got, and I'm going to do the envelope as well in that, so it looks really nice and smart, and very I think it's a very different sort of card for me, and I think I like those bold regal sort of look. That's the word I'm looking for. This is a great sheet for coloring in. You can color the background and leave the flowers white. You can color the flowers and the background. Just put it black and white. A few options there. Blend it, spritz it. Lightly watercolor it, just don't oversaturate. You can do that as well. Watercolor pencils, stamping blends. Just with the stamping lenses, sometimes you've got to watch because it's got design on the other side. Sometimes that comes through. But just gently you can do it. I think that, so what do you think of the spotted paper? Just provides, I think, a nice contrast against those cherries. All right. Trying not to put my messy fingers on there. Okay. That's our card done with the Sweetest Cherries bundle, and you can order that online, or you can contact me to place an order. And orders of $90, you get a free product from a Sale-A-Bration Catalogue. Plus, you're going to get the make and takes from my card class, which was on Wednesday. And you will also get a tutorial bundle and bump your order up to 150. Maybe you want some cardstock or something else, you'll get a free embellishment pack as well. So thanks for joining me. I hope you have found some tips here that you can use in your card making. And if you case it, please pop it in the comments, and I'd love to see what you make using some techniques here. I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow. Please join me on Craft Alive, the Great International Craft Show. There's 2 classes there, and I'll catch up with you then. And have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.